Okay, so let's begin. One, I want to be sure that you know that I am going to take next Saturday off just because it's 4th of July and we'll all be imagining parades at home, imagining parades and imagining fireworks at home. And so just a reminder that that's the case. We'll see if I am able to get something pre-recorded up on YouTube just in case you want to do something next weekend. So that's that. And then the second thing is that I just want to share this because otherwise I see this. This is, well, it's a blank book, but many of you happen to be Kickstarter contributors to the book that I was self-publishing, and it got picked up by a publisher, a good publisher, and I've been in the throes of the editing process, well, pretty much since COVID began, finding out what it takes to actually complete a book with that level of professional standard, and it's quite a process. So they sent me yesterday, that's the title along there. This is the shape of the book. It's just pages, but I can see the quality of the paper, and I wanted to share it with you because I'm very excited about it. If someday you would like to purchase this book is basically about 12 trips up and down the river Ganga, the Ganges River in India, and someday you'll be able to purchase it. If you want to send me an email because you're interested, I'll be sure you go on the list. Big photography book. Okay? There's that. And then lastly, I've been working this week on on Thursday in my Zoom classes at Breathe Together Yoga, we talked a little bit about a mantra that we can use. It's a very old mantra that evokes a sense of having the sun in one's heart. And I found it to be very useful at this time because there's so much going on, so much happening that there can be a sense of depletion in here or withdrawal, or not feeling anything much at all. And I was reminded this week that so much of our own well-being is an inside job, and to call on this sense of, oh yes, that's right, this warm presence in our heart is really helpful. That said, it's also important not to override what we are feeling with an idea of how we would like to feel. And last night I was visited by 2 nightmares and I thought I want to integrate that into our work this morning because the nightmares themselves demonstrate that an incident that took place last weekend after I saw you, the morning after I saw you last, I woke up and someone had been into our home and they had taken my electric bike. And needless to say, I was devastated, but have been learning from it all week. And so, of course, last night I dreamt that someone had entered the home. And I'm telling you this because this is often how trauma works. So we have the incident. It could be in a relationship with someone, things don't go well. It could be a physical trauma, all different kinds of trauma. And that, you know how I've said that we notice that the breath rises and passes, yeah? Well, awareness, our sense of awareness and attention is much like the rising and passing breath. So awareness comes and goes. And if we have a practice in meditation, we know that while we are attempting to steady the mind, in reality, there is this coming and going. We're present, and then all of a sudden, we're gone again. And then we return, right? Begin again, begin again. Well, so it is, I believe, with trauma as well, where the incident occurs, and then there's the waves after the incident. And what we want to be able to do is, as opposed to being stuck on a particular wave, we want to be able to be the ocean that makes space for the waves. So we're going to work with that today. Being the ocean, we know that this body is mostly fluid. We will go back to our work with fascia, opening, feeling in, making some room, and that out of that room, instead of plopping this idea of the sun down on our heart, we're going to see if we can make some room for that inherent warmth, right? An oceanic presence that is there already, and sometimes hidden behind waves of, for lack of a better term, well, garbage, yeah? Okay, so you got it? I hope you got it. I think you guys are going like this. I'm hoping that's the case. Let's come to child's pose. And resting down on the mat. Stretching the arms way out in front of you. Good, and then as we always do, notice the weather of the body this morning, whether we woke up just, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, lots of energy, or a little bit tired. Notice how the body feels. Is it open? Is there contraction in any one place? And this morning, I actually want you to go look for some contraction. So you may not have to look hard. Some of you will find contraction or holding or a sense of withdrawal quite easily. And some you may find it in the practice, and let's use that to work with. So if you find it where you are right now, just let the wave of breath roll right over it. Good. Slowly come up onto hands and knees. And tuck your left toes under. Send your leg back. Extending back through the fascia. Some of this fascia is really pliable. Some of it is potentially sticky. Feels a little harder than the rest. Some of you might want to make this, into something else by drawing the right knee off the ground. Good, then slowly come back to the other side. And already we can begin to notice differences potentially between left and right side. Maybe the knee comes off. We do that with the abdominals. And then gradually come back down. Slowly rise up. Right leg goes out to the side. Okay, so for this variation, we'll keep the left arm down. You can have your toes down or not. The foot could be flexed. We'll take the right arm around to the left ear and gradually lengthen as the left arm pulls away. Good, feeling in. So you might turn down a little bit, might turn up a little bit. Yeah. Good. Then inhale, come back up. Right knee in. Left leg out. Good. All right, so here we go. Left arm comes around, hand gradually takes hold, lengthening all along. Right arm extends away. Watching the breath. Yeah, go looking for a place that could use your attention. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, release the hands back down. Good. Take your left leg back again behind you. Right arm forward. Navel to spine. Bend the knee, reach back. Grasp the foot or the ankle. And open up the right shoulder using your left leg. Good. We include everything we feel. Inhale, exhale, release, knee down, hand down, right leg back, left arm forward, navel to spine. Find center here first. Good, and then begin to open. Use the breath. Good, one more deep breath in. Release, hand to floor, knee to floor. Tuck your toes under, would you please? Take the hips high, but tuck the toes. Press your hands, draw back, open up the soles of the feet. And watching the wave of breath. Feeling the upper back right behind the heart. Can you feel into that space, or is it difficult to feel? And then slide the hands in and come to cat for a moment and spread your blades really wide apart. Take a few breaths into the back of the lungs and watch how the blades widen with the inhale. Good. Watch the inhale and watch the release. Then toes tucked under, hips up and back behind us. Let's walk back and forth a little bit. Lifting hips up. Good. Stretch. If you haven't eaten, draw your navel to your spine, lower navel to spine, so that you can lift your hips up and back. Good. Then inhale, exhale, bend your knees, look past your hands, step or float forward. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Flowing from the inside out. Inhaling. Exhale, release. Good. Letting go. Take your arms behind your back and see if you can find your elbows. Holding the elbows. Feel how the forearms help to nudge the spine downward. Most of us will have the knees bent a little bit. Feel the face soften. Good, and see if you can, with your awareness, just penetrate this moment right now. Like all here. Well done. Now let's release the arms. And one vertebrae at a time, we rise up. Sweep the arms all the way up. Palms join at the top. Exhale, releasing the hands to the heart. Good. We'll open the practice with the Gayatri mantra this morning. If you know it, please join me if it works for you. Good. So may we contact the light of awareness, essentially. That's a very truncated version. Om Bhur Swaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om. top of the mat, but I should tell you that if you have a block, we may want to use the block today. If you don't have a block, you're going to use your imagination, okay? And I'll let you know when to use the imagination. But we want to really wake up the midline. We're in the summer months now, and we're working a little bit with heart and cardiovascular system. So back at the top of the mat with the block if you've got it. Let's all inhale, send the arms up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, step back to plank pose. Good, wake up that cat at the upper back. Push back through your heels, wake up the whole body. Just notice what it feels like in there, the whole thing. Inhale. Exhale, we slowly lower. Let's take the knees to the ground, torso down. Point your toes back, root your legs. Inhale. Pull the mat. Exhale, slowly lower. Walk your hands over to the right a little bit. And then inhale, come back up. Some of you might decide to look back towards your right foot. Exhale, slowly lower. Hands now to the left. Inhale. Pulling, maybe look back. Yep. And then exhale, slowly lower. Through child's pose. Okay, I'll tell you now, this is the part where we put the block between the thighs in child's pose. And on to downward dog. So if you do not have a block, you are imagining you have a block because the inner thighs drawing in toward each other, that squeeze, creates a great deal more contact with midline. All these muscles available in the middle of the body that help stabilize the body, bring it strength. Come forward to plank. Once again, inhale. Exhale, either knees and torso down or slowly lower. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. Squeeze the block. Exhale, pick it up and take it back. Good. Walk your hands back toward your feet, please. And then with knees bent, interlace your fingers behind your back. Draw your shoulder blades together. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Release the head and neck. And you know what you can do here with your shoulder blades is try to contact the top of the inside of the blade where the two could practically touch. And then slowly make your way down the middle of the blades. So the middle of the blades try to touch. All the way down into the lower part of the blades. Can they feel as though they're moving in? And then right back up slowly to the top of the blades. Okay, wonderful. Inhale. Exhale, release your hands to the ground, walk forward, back to plank. Lower through, or knees and torso down. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, have that squeeze take you back. Okay, now, stakes are high. Inhale, exhale, bend your knees. Can you float forward between the hands? Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, squeeze the block so much that it helps momentum drawing you upward. Take the arms up, grasp with left wrist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, extend to your right. Feeling the whole body here. And sometimes we'll get fixated on one particular place, especially if it's a place that talks. Can we hold that one place in our awareness, but be a little bit more connected to the whole awareness of the whole body? Let's come to the other side now. Watching the breath. And watching the flow of our awareness. and our attention, how it comes and goes, and we just gently bring it back. Inhale, rise back up. Exhale, release the arms. Good, release the block now. Back to mountain pose. Mountain pose with that sense that there's still the block there. Take the arms all the way up, inhale. Exhale, folding forward, out and down. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, step or float back, lower through, or meet in downward dog. Inhaling, exhale, right over the toes. Good, stretch your jaw open, see what you find there. Left to right a little bit. Good, all right, take the right leg up and back behind you. Inhale, exhale, right thigh to rib cage, pause here. And draw the thigh in really close. You're up on the ball of the left foot. Feel that cat rounding. And then set the right foot down. Pivot the left heel to the ground. Gradually rise up. Come right into reverse warrior. Left hand grazes the back leg. And sweep your awareness along this whole right side of the body. You might take your left arm around your back toward your hip or your thigh. Good, and then rise up. We're going to do a big wide-legged triangle pose, reaching forward. Go slow. Hand comes to the thigh or the shin or the foot, and then we gradually open the left rib cage. And we want to be here long enough to feel into this whole shape. Almost as if the shape itself, inside the shape itself was empty, was space. And we'll notice pretty quickly what feels spacious and what doesn't. All right, so from here, bend your right knee. Good, right hand, pinky toe side, left leg comes off. Half moon with the left arm back behind us, just to help coax open. Coax open left hip. Move the breath right up to the top chest, top of the lungs. Okay, now we're going to play a game called How High Will the Left Leg Go this morning? And can the torso make its way toward the ground just a little bit? So the hips are stacked one on top of the other. Take it slow. You might bend your right knee here a little bit. Stamp your right heel into the ground just to give yourself a little more stability. Yeah, become a little malleable like taffy. Yeah, nice. And bend the right knee. Slowly land your left foot. Rise up. Turn your feet. Pivot your feet. Take hold of your elbows behind your back. Inhale, lengthen front spine. Exhale, folding forward, out and down. Good, and then just let your head and neck hang. Bend your knees a little bit and become again aware of the whole body. So this become aware of the whole body in a shape is really helpful from a yoga asana practitioner standpoint because, you know, we're learning how to be a little bit more awareness and a little bit less fixated on particular bits, particular parts, particular experiences.
Be able to hold experiences. All right, bend your knees just slightly so you can feel your heels root into the ground. Inhale, we rise up. Exhale, take the hands to the back of your mat. Sweep the left leg back, lower through, or meet in downward dog. Right over the toes we go. Yep, left leg up and back. Reach it up. Hips are square here. With square hips, just see how high will the left leg go. Come up onto the ball of the foot. Inhale, exhale, thigh to rib cage, hug in close. Hug in close. And then feel everything. There's everything there is to feel. Make room. The art of making room. Making space. Then left foot lands. Right heel pivots. We open out into reverse. Sweep the breath like a wave along the left side. Good. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, arms wide. Right arm slides back behind. Reach forward. Feel the heels press. Go slow. Yeah, all here for the movement. All here for the breath. Coax the right rib cage, the whole rib cage open slightly. Good. Hypermobile people, you may want to take your toes off for a moment or bend your left knee slightly. And how can we create a sense of lightness here? Just invite the light. Good. Look down. Left fingertips to the ground. Half moon. Stacking, growing, lengthening. Turning. Good. Fully here, right here. And then maybe beginning to explore. Right leg goes up, the torso may sink, the gaze is steady. Feel this huge shape that we're making. And witnessing what we feel. Good, well done. And then bend the left knee, land the foot behind, rising up. Take your toes out, your heels in. Settling down. Yep, settle, settle, settle. Potentially invite the thighs to roll open. Yeah, so I've been working a lot lately with emotions that I really don't want to be feeling. And can I make enough room to be with those emotions so that they have a chance to express themselves and eventually subside. Otherwise, those waves have nowhere to go. They just keep banging, you know? All right, so from here, let's take the feet parallel with each other, folding forward. Interlace your fingers behind your back into a fist again. You might try the other way that you haven't done yet. Straighten the arms, draw the blades together, and folding in. Yep, go tooling around in the body for what you haven't felt yet. You might try around underneath the armpits, the roof of the mouth, the top of the skull. the inner arches, and include. Good, well done. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hands back to the front of the mat, right leg back, downward dog or a vinyasa. Good, fill the back of the lungs with breath. And then slowly come to plank pose, please. And gradually lower down. You might use your knees, come all the way onto the floor and rest on a cheek. So sometimes if we get stuck with a particular emotion, one remedy is often forgiveness. And sometimes it's forgiveness of ourselves, and sometimes it's forgiveness of someone else. And forgiveness is the practice of both the mind and the heart. It's not to say that the behavior was necessarily okay, but if there's no forgiveness, there's this holding on, and we'll find that holding on in the different systems of the body. So letting go becomes, it becomes a practice we do often, yes? Take the arms beside us, palms face up, legs lift, fingers wide, toes wide. Good. Move your breath into your top chest, right up around the throat, lifting the legs upward. Good. One more breath. Lift up. Exhale, slowly release. Now back through child's pose. Hands under the shoulders. Take it back. Good. See if you can be fully here on your next breath. And then gradually rise up. Take the legs forward, would you please? Okay, we're going to take them out in front of us. The feet are flexed, the toes are wide, they're rooted. If you find that there's leaning back here, will you bend your knees so your spine can be long? Yes, okay. Pressing the legs down into the floor. Close the eyes for a moment. Lengthen the spine. Feel the whole container, the whole shape of your body. And notice the space inside. Remembering full well that everything in there, reduced to its essential components, is space. And just notice around the heart what it feels like in there. Good. And then bend your knees. Reach your hands back. You can open your eyes. Lift up into reverse tabletop. Back body strong. Front body soft. Head and neck relax. And we invite a little bit of lightness of being in the top chest. And one way to begin with that process is to feel the inherent warmth in our own hearts. It's inherently warm in there. Do you notice that? I bet you noticed it with the block between the legs. And then slowly release. Take the arms around the legs. Give yourself a hug. Okay, so we'll take the arms wide And the game this morning, well, there's many games, but the navel draws into the spine and the right leg begins to extend however much it will as a function of really drawing the lower abdominals in and down. Do what you can here. The knee may be bent and we release. And then we extend the left leg. We're just curious, where will it go? Does it help to imagine the block between the thighs? See if that's the case. Well done. Okay, take the legs long. Extend the arms. Inhale. Exhale, let's fold forward over the knees, being bent slightly as we make our way in. Really be sure you've got this belly-thigh connection. And then go inside, looking around for anywhere that still may be held. And just allow the breath to wash over. Good. Every wave needs to be attended to. Every wave from the perspective of the ocean. Slowly rise up. Cross your ankles. Take your arms forward. And tuck your thighs in as close to your rib cage as possible. This could look like a little abdominal. We're just seeing if we can get the thighs right up against the chest or the inner shoulders just a couple times. We might draw them in and they might snap back pretty quickly. Come in close, point your toes. Okay, put your hands to the ground. Lift your body up as much as you can. You probably have your feet on the floor, and then walk your legs back behind you. Come to plank and lower down. Back through the vinyasa. Downward dog, lift the hips up and back. Okay, this time we sit down. We sit down on the shins and we may very well have the block underneath our sit bones if we're floating. If we can come all the way down, do. Good. All 10 toes active. And let's gradually now open up the front, the quadriceps, the front thighs. Scoot your tailbone down toward the back of the knees. Yeah, go to a place where you can feel the lengthening happening. That's all that matters. And a place where you can rest in it a little bit. So it's not all contraction. Watching the breath. Yeah, forgiveness helps us also with returning to the present moment, spending more time in the present than in the past. I probably don't need to tell you that. You probably know that, huh? Now we slowly find our way back up. Rise up onto the shins. Tuck your toes under. Now some of you might find that you really like to have a block between the thighs. You may not go as far or moving to camel pose. However, you've got this real drawing into midline, which is exceptionally helpful for stabilizing as we turn this into a back bend. Take the arms wide for a moment and have your shoulder blades right up against your heart as the thighs push forward. Good. If this bothers your lower back at all, place your thumbs down on the lower back, pull down, or hands to ribs, lift up. Good. If you feel open through the upper back, go ahead, reach back for the ankles. Have this lead out of
drawing in and up through the thighs. And watch as the breath slowly opens the posture. Keep thighs forward. Good, now have thighs squeeze together as you come up. Pause, just feel the vestiges of sensation. Release the block this time, if you had it. So toes tucked under. If that was a big stretch there, then keep the toes tucked under. Some of you could go ahead and put the front of the feet on the floor and then grow it from the front. Right? So this is so helpful from the inside out. We open. Softening into camel, but strong, steady, firm, lower body, thighs forward. I often say lower body like rock, upper body like water. You now have the lower body bring you up. And exhale, release, child's pose. Let's go knees wide here. Resting downward. And in this rest, we see how long can we be present before a thought takes us somewhere else. So our capacity to grow our experience of being awareness, being the ocean, it's a function of present moment awareness, of practicing returning, feeling, letting go, returning. We slowly come back up. Now let's take it back to hero pose. So the sit bones are down and you might be grasping the block again, but we're going to sneak the left leg out of there. If you feel as though you are leaning to one side and you happen to have a blanket nearby, just stick the blanket underneath so that your sit bones are even. The right foot, the toes turn directly back. Now, remember when we tried this in boat pose, we're drawing the thigh into the rib cage without grasping the leg. Yep. We're seeing, can we lift the left leg up? We'll probably feel it speaking pretty soon. How high can the left leg go without the grasp? And we're still attempting to keep the spine pretty long. All right, so begin to climb your way up your left leg. Push the ball of the foot away from you. Notice how this can easily happen where actually we want to draw the shoulders back and down. And then feel into the shape. What is here? Yeah, and that's one reason that we use curiosity and listening so much in this practice as well, is because curiosity and listening are a doorway into being present. What is here now? Take your right hand around the outside of either the calf or the foot. Root the sit bones. Turn, turn, turn. Push. Lower this leg. Yep. Left arm can go back behind you. Feel your left hand and your left foot in space. And notice, where did your right sit bone go? Can you still feel that it's drawn downward? Ask the liver to your right to move toward the spleen to your left. Okay, now find out if this left foot will come to the hip crease, your right hip crease. It may not. It might be that you place the foot here on the inside of the thigh. Take left hand back, right arm extends, inhale, reach up. Exhale, we cross. If you can bring the back of the hand to the outside, you can press down a little bit, maybe, and then begin to turn from the waist. Lengthening the spine. And noticing what is here. And feeling the whole body when we ask that question. Okay, slowly unwind. Give yourself a hug first, drawing the knees in close, lengthening the spine. Arms forward, legs go up, push, knees can be bent or legs straight. What is here? What is here is probably, my goodness, a lot. All right, slowly release. Left leg back, toes turn back. Check your sit bones on this side. Steady between both. Good, draw right leg in. So this is where we begin the game called What Happens When I Lift the Right Leg Off? All kinds of crazy things probably happen here. And then walk the hands up. Draw the femur bones. Think about the big bones of your legs dropping down in toward the hip socket. You know, we call this Heron pose. You've probably watched a heron and how quiet they get inside as they wait to pluck a fish. So like the heron, we're really quiet so we can see what there is to see in there. And then bend the knee a little bit. Take the hand around the foot or the calf. Push. This is where a belt can be helpful for some of us. Push and then begin to turn and create huge expanse between foot and hand. Magnanimous. Open-hearted. Stay pretty far forward on your sit bones. Notice where your left sit bone is in the equation now. Feeling into the inherent warmth of our heart. It's always there. This is good news. For the time we are alive, it is here. And then slowly returning, we take the foot either to the hip crease or to the inner thigh. Left back of the hand comes around the thigh, right arm back behind us. You know, if you're able to get your heel right here at the ovary, that's helpful. You can push a little bit. And then invite the twist. Some of you might want to grasp the foot. Good, very thorough. I've been using this analogy this week that the path is always there, but the path gets covered in leaves, and our job is to sweep so that we can see the path. Yes, we sweep with our attention. Unwind,
Unwind it all. One more hug. Back to boat. Palms in prayer position. And then let's come down slowly. Slowly. Navel to spine. This is where it would be nice to see you on Zoom to see if you're really coming down slowly. Good, releasing. Feeling the back contact the ground. And when it's time to rest, can we rest? How does it feel in there? All right, so we are prepared for wheel. Whether we know it or not, the body is as prepared for wheel today as it's going to be. It may look like bridge for some of us, and it may look like supported bridge for some of us. Supported bridge, grasp your block, place it underneath your tailbone. When you come up, shoulder blades draw together. You can interlace again and play with drawing the inner blades in toward each other. How close can they get without compromising the spaciousness at the front of the throat? Press the feet into the ground. Encourage the rib cage toward the chin. And if you're going on, hands under the shoulders. Come lightly onto the top of the head. Up we go. Good. So this morning's wheel or bridge is brought to you by the quietness of the Heron. Can we get quiet inside and feel around? Remembering that we are the hub of the wheel and not the spokes of the wheel. Hold the entire body in our awareness. Inhale, exhale, slowly releasing, coming all the way down. And soles of the feet together, knees wide. Yeah, so when you go inside now, notice that shape, that back bend, which we do almost every Saturday morning, wheel and bridge are so great for beginning the day because they encourage an inhalation. They open the chest, they open the heart. Notice the warmth that you feel. Inherent. We don't have to make it up. It's already there. And see if you can relax in such a way that the warmth begins to emanate beyond the chest into the further reaches of the body. Relaxing and melting, softening, letting go where we need to make more room for ourselves. Slide the hands now beneath the thighs. Come to happy baby, grasping the feet or the ankles and drawing the thighs toward the ground. And what is here? Draw the soles of the feet together. Interlace your fingers around the outside of the feet and invite the feet toward the chest. Push the feet in toward each other so that the legs seem to butterfly apart. Watching the breath. And how can we make space in the contraction? Because we're deliberately contracting to midline now. And yet there's still a sense of spaciousness. Maybe the feet move up toward the throat a little bit. We keep the tailbone down if possible. Releasing. Take the arms down, cactus, cross right foot over left thigh. Place your left foot down and then allow the legs to roll to the right. Good. You might stretch the left arm up and you might turn it. So we internally spiral the whole left arm so that the palm comes down. And we could, if we could look up, it might be hard on the neck, we would see our pinky finger on that side. Good. Span the whole breath along left side. And then gradually we return. And we switch. And legs go all the way over. Right arm back behind us, maybe. Turning the entire arm. So you can take your left hand and really internally rotate upper arm bone. That slides the whole right shoulder blade down the back. It's nice even to take your left hand to your right shoulder blade and pull downward. Then look toward the right hand. Feel the contact with the floor all over the place. Good. 2 more breaths. And gradually make your way out. Release the legs long. Release the arms. Let the body settle downward in Shavasana. Just relaxing downward. Resting. And as I often say, resting the mind, and then resting the mind in the heart, in the innate warmth that is already there. Opening up space in the body. Present for the waves. All different kinds of waves. Wave of sensation. Wave of thought. Wave of emotion. Wave of sound. So this poem is really good for autumn. So I'm a little bit ahead of myself here, but let's just go with it, okay? I was sipping coffee. Well, it's called Reduced to Joy, okay? Reduced to Joy. I was sipping coffee on the way to work, the back road under a canopy of maples turning orange. In the dip of woods, a small doe gently leaping, I pulled over, for there was nowhere else to go. She paused, as if she knew I was watching. A few orange leaves fell around her like blessings no one can seem to find. I sipped some coffee, completely at peace, knowing it wouldn't last. But that's all right. We never know when we will blossom into what we're supposed to be. It might be early, it might be late. It might be after 30 years of failing at a misguided way, or the very first time we dare to shed our mental skin and touch the world. They say if real enough, some
some see God at the moment of their death. But isn't every fall and letting go a death? Isn't God waiting right now in the chill between the small doe's hoof and those fallen leaves? So we insert our awareness in the space between breaths, the space between thoughts. Gradually increasing our capacity to be here now. And then let's slowly give ourselves one last hug for this practice. I hope there are more inserted through your day. We can send an arm up as we roll to one side, letting the head rest. And this extra space that we've made for ourselves, and this little bit of warmth that we've come into contact with, however much, may somehow through our practice, it benefit others. All those who are struggling. And we gradually make our way up to a comfortable seat. We'll draw the palms together. And with the eyes closed, we just feel into the space of the body. I invite us all to do this on a regular basis through the day. We'll close with one round of sealing the practice. Yes, sealing it with generosity, beyond what's comfortable. Integrity, doing the right thing. Patience and forgiveness. Letting go. Joyful effort of practice, practicing returning again and again. And listening within. Let's bring the hands to the forehead, right thought. May we be steady. May we be present. May we be joyful. The hands come to the mouth, right speech. May our words improve upon the silence. And our hands come to our heart, right action. May we be the change that we wish to see. Namaste. So lovely to see you. Well, see you. So lovely to feel you. I should say that. So lovely to feel you. So let's be extraordinarily generous today. We could take on the challenge in ourselves of being uncomfortably generous. Maybe outside of our normal sphere. And let's pummel the world with our inherent warmth. Okay? Good. So good to see you. Love you. Love you, love you. Take care.